BBC2's football lineup in just a moment, then action from the 1984 game between France and Portugal. Where were you on July the 4th, 1990? England and West Germany faced each other in the World Cup semi-finals. It was to be a moist and emotional game for Gaza, the crying game at 10:35. That's followed by the moment of truth, the result of the greatest goal. Football as seen through the eyes of movie and television directors, not always a successful alliance, as discovered in The Beautiful Frame at 10:50. And before the final whistle, Goal, the official film of the 1966 World Cup. This is Goal TV on BBC2.
The object of the game is to get the ball into the other team's goal and keep it out of your goal.
In this team game, there's one who stands alone, and solitude can do strange things to the goalkeeper. L'étranger.
The last defender, Vladimir Nabokov. Of the games I played at Cambridge, soccer has remained a windswept clearing in the middle of a rather muddled period. I was crazy about goalkeeping. In Russia and the Latin countries, that gallant art had always been surrounded with a halo of singular glamour. Aloof, solitary, impassive, the crack goalie is followed in the streets by entranced small boys. He vies with the matador and the flying ace as an object of thrilled adulation. He is the lone eagle, the man of mystery, the last defender.
Come out, Jay! Come out! Come out, Jay! Get out, Jay, son! Yeah!
You're like the last line of defence. You miss the ball, everyone yells at you. But if you save one shot and say a penalty or something, and then you win the match for them, and you can be really good, you're a hero. But it's really good that way.
I started off just when I was about 12 or 13. For the school team, I was picked to play in the district side as a goalkeeper, but I was a centre-half at the time. And because I got through the trials when I went back to my own school, they wouldn't let me play at field again, so that was me. I was stuck in goals, so that's been me ever since.
The World Cup was just about that time when I was at an influential age. Obviously Gordon Banks was my hero, and you go over the park. And because of my size, I was always fairly tall. Played in goal, and I was Gordon Banks, or I was Peter Bonetti. So at that age, I think your father, because my dad played in goal as well as a young lad, and I think you're influenced by that sort of thing.
Here comes a Kirbishley! Oh, what a good save! Burridge!
When we started playing football, I was always wanting to be in goal because I used to love the spectacular. I used to love diving around, flinging myself about, and I enjoyed the glory of being able to kick the ball out the net. And even to this very day, you know, those favourite words from the centre forward. Hell bells, Budgie, how the hell did you get your hand on that? Fantastic, fantastic sentences, them.
I really don't need the rest of the team. You know, I could take a coach and a bag of balls and we could do our thing and they could do their thing. You know, and maybe a little bit bring me in for maybe set pieces or a little pattern or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, I'm really probably a totally different, you know, aspect of the whole game because I can use my hands and they can.
You're not expected to score, you're not going to score, so you're thinking on defensive all the time. You're constantly aware of what's going to happen if they break and things like that. So you're thinking differently to everyone else, perhaps. So you're probably different like that.
I see a different game completely to the forwards. When we're on the attack and we're around their box, I'm seeing them breaking at us and scoring a goal. So I'm up on the edge of the box, really, talking to defenders. You know, don't go, don't leave your area. You know, I'm screaming. I actually come off horse. I come off like that. You know, and I'm going, no, they can't talk like that, because I've been screaming, especially over a big crowd.
But different? No, not really. You know, everyone treats you the same at the club, you know. I might get a little bit of razzing sometimes, but what can you say? You're smarter than me. I mean, that's not too bad of a razz, is it?
There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone who watch over me.
Try and sort of be friendly with it and sort of touch it a few times when I run into it, you know, each half and everything, and as I say, try and stay friendly with the crossbar and the posts.
When you're young, you usually tend to drift out your goal, and the older you get, you know, you train in a goal, you try and get your angles right, where you try and pull the saves off, and you are aware of where your goal is. You know, as our boss says, you know, treat it as your wife, you're protecting her. You know, you don't want anybody to get near her, so you look after it, don't you?
He may not be the man some girls think of as handsome.
Oh, it's mine. It's my domain, and I'm there, and I suppose I've got to protect it. I've got to keep everything out of it, and it almost feels like home.
I regard that as my house, you know, and I like telling people to get out of my house. You know, when my back four's backing in on top of me, you know, that is my call. Get out of my house.
Someone to watch over me.
And he saved it and made history.
That probably did win us the game, because if they had scored, you think they're going to score again and again, because that was the way the game could have gone. But fortunately for us, it was maybe the turning point. That was it. You felt they're never going to score now. You know, they'd had their chances before that, and then the last chance of a penalty, you think, well, if they're not going to score from there, then that's it. You know, and that's the way it ended up.
I think penalties are very much a psychological warfare. The forward's got all the advantages. The goalkeeper's really got nothing to lose, and you see different goalkeepers trying different things. Very often you go on a sort of gut reaction, but you can try different things. You probably remember Bruce Grobbelaar doing the wobbly knees in the cup final penalty shootout. You can stand slightly to one side of the goal and try and force the guy to shoot into the larger side of the goal, and you're ready to dive that way. And very often you can try looking at the forward as he's taking the penalty and seeing which way his body's going. And yeah, but you've got nothing to lose. The goalkeeper's got nothing to lose on a penalty. So
sometimes they just look to one corner and you say, "Oh, brilliant! They're going to shoot that way." So, but most of the time you just guessing. No one's expecting you to save it. Well, if you save it, then you're the hero. But if no one's really expecting you to save it, so if you miss it, it doesn't really matter. But as long as it's not an easy shot, you could easily save. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I think it's pretty easy for a goalkeeper. You know, you just have that's your one chance to be the hero and not be the GOAT.
Chelsea's Dave Beasant had a rotten day today, and the Chelsea manager Ian Porterfield has said, in all fairness to Dave, he probably needs a change as much as we do. I've got to make a change and seriously consider buying a replacement.
A certain part of my career at Chelsea was the lowest I've ever been, and it was very hard for me. And you know, I actually went a long period of time with not playing because mentally I wasn't right. And I think you've got to be right to play in goal. You can't just kind of get through a game as maybe an outfield player can. You can carry an outfield player and the others rally around him and pull him through it. But as a goalkeeper, you've got to be there and ready for anything they're going to throw at you. And at that stage, I wasn't ready for it. And so it took me a while to get back.
Confidence is everything, and when it's not there, it's difficult to get back. You start snatching at things when normally you just relax and catch it, you wouldn't even think about it. And that seems to coincide with every shot for 25 yards seems to go in the top corner, and that just seems to be the way that when you are a bit down, things like that seem to just keep flying past you. But it's up to yourself. It's then a test of character to see whether you come back. It took me a long while to get over Manchester United, but fortunately I'm back enjoying what I'm doing again. It's taken me a long time to do it, but this season's been the first season that I could honestly say I've enjoyed football for about 4 or 5 years.
Mercifully, the game would swing to the opposite end of the sodden field. With an almost cooing tenderness in their subdued croaking, dilapidated rooks would be flapping about a leafless elm. The far, blurred sounds, a cry, a whistle, the thud of a kick, all that was perfectly unimportant and had no connection with me. I was less the keeper of a soccer goal than the keeper of a secret.
It's easy to fall asleep. It's an hour and a half, and if it's a boring game, you know, so you gotta try and, as I say, make sure you don't go. Make sure you're there all the time. It has happened, particularly when I was younger. It was a problem to me, but it helps to talk to yourself. Even, you know, they say, "What's he doing over there?" Talking to himself, but it does help.
Keita is out once again. Off he goes now. He's got a free kick. I think he'll be a bit disappointed by that. He likes to have a run to the halfway line at least once in every game.
Extra man there, and Schmeichel actually got the header, but directed it wide.
Sometimes football's too serious. I don't mean that in a nasty way where, I mean, once I take the mask off, I am serious. I'm like everybody else, I shout and rave, but before the game I like to be relaxed and everything, and I think it relaxes other lads as well. You know, you have a laugh and joke, it takes the pressure off everybody.
I think you do have to be a bit silly, have a little bit of madness in your blood, mainly because of the silly things you have to do in goal. You know, you're going to get your head kicked off. You know, you put your head where people wouldn't put their feet. You know, and but I would never ever say to someone, "You don't want to play in goal. You don't want to do that."
Well, as a 15-year-old, I first left school and I came into the game as a 15-year-old. And one of the old trainers, John Leighton, he says to me, "Son," he said, "goalkeepers have got to be crackers and daft." He says, "You have got the qualities of an international." And I took it as a compliment. Good.
Thank you.